Hey, today with this video, I was hoping to share a spreadsheet template as well as a little bit of a thought process and methodology around how to build out a dividend forecasting payment schedule sort of calendar. Um, Start by saying I'm not a financial advisor, so anything I say in this is for educational and entertainment purposes. With that being said, this is something that hits so close to home because my mother started to transition into retirement and starting to look towards of, hey, how do I take this nest egg that I've built and have it build income for me? Or maybe you're younger and trying to see how can I supplement my current um, salary with what I'm investing in. So this dividend schedule is more or less showing the investments that you've made potentially and how it would pay, how the dividends would pay out over time. So the only actual manual inputs on this are the blue font. So this would be the ticker. This is how many shares you own, and it would update accordingly. So I'll change this to, let's say, Apple. And as you can see, it updates accordingly. Now, how we do this is the first section. This is pulling what sector. This is kind of interesting to make sure that you're not overloaded in one sector. Take, for example, energy at the beginning of COVID when oil went negative. Could be a really bad situation for you. So what this is more or less doing is pulling the sector off of Fidelity's website using the import XML function. And if error, we'll throw out ETF. So this XML pathway or XPath does not exist on ETFs. So this will come in handy a little bit later because where we're pulling the dividend yield from will also change because of that. So we're going to skip over this one for now. And this is the next manual input is how many shares you own, which would calculate the price. And so your equity, which then would also calculate with the dividend yield to get your dividend payments. This again is going to pull off of something down here in this kind of hidden area. So this is the yield, and this is where it's kind of important that it would be off of the ETF here. So what this is saying is ETF. This is a formula I parasited off one of my personal spreadsheets where if it contained bonds, it would be bonds, but it pulls from the same area off of MarketWatch. So MarketWatch has a different setup for different stocks or ETFs. So this being ETF is what allows this to show through the dividend yield here. So this is estimated next payment, which is pulling from all this area right here. So I'll lump these all together. This is a handful and a half to try and explain what's going on here. If someone does end up having questions, happy to show kind of the cascade of all the different things that are going on. But what this imports as more or less is this table here. And so this is pulling in AT&T's. And what you'll see is 5 and 8. So this is row 5, as you can see, and this is their last dividend payment. Now, if it's further back, it'll occasionally show up as 8. So that's why anyone here that doesn't have anything as 5 has something in 8. And what this allows you to do is then use this corrector to say if this is blank, then use this. So this shows the last dividend payment, and that allows you to calculate the difference. And using kind of ballpark estimates and using if then greater than, you can just determine if it's monthly. So if it's less than 35 monthly, if it's less than 95 quarterly, if it's less than 185, it would be semi-annual. Anything above that would be an annual dividend payment. Actually not sure if they're semi-annual or annual, but built this in just in case. And then from there, this is the payment months. So essentially what this is doing is it's taking this current month, adding 3 to it, or sorry, this current month, adding 3 to it, and so on and so forth. And this then will go into what's building out this graph. So I'll hide this here to make it all pretty again. And I'll also hide this import example because we're kind of through that. And then moving into the index. So one of the things that's going on here is, actually I shouldn't have hid this. You'll notice that the month is actually done in this April it's kind of scrunched together. But so essentially, what one of the parts of the formula here says is use VLOOKUP. Um, Here it is. Replace use VLOOKUP to use the little three-letter code to find the month. So that's what this table is for, is the month table. So if it pulls a MAR, replace it with a 3, so that way you know it's March. So this table here will then pull in, transpose that all the ticker symbols. And then from there, this formula is saying if monthly, then just add whatever this payment is here every month. And if it's not, then sum if, so we're here, sum if the month that is here is in this area here, contains. So 8, 12, 5, right? Would correlate to the month and then add here accordingly. And then what this is just a simple sum. And then this one is saying sum plus that, so that you can get this year-long dividend payment kind of readout. So this particular um, portfolio would have these two big months because you have a bunch of quarterly um, stocks, and then one fall off, and then two big ones, and then one fall off. So if you're someone who is in a situation where you're relying on this money to survive, you're going to want to know that you're not going to want to blow everything in those 2 months because you're about to have a hard one coming up. Also, if you're kind of looking to go that path, then you might throw more of like a HIPS in, which pays on a monthly schedule. Obviously, the stock price isn't as high and the yield isn't as high, so it wouldn't get you quite as much money, but it would even this out. Again, this is not a real portfolio, so this is just manipulating kind of numbers to make a point. Um, and then it reads out as having 15 grand, and then this is the different amounts of money you'd see each month. So yeah, if you found this helpful, please feel free to let me know, like, subscribe. I'll also put this template in the description below. But again, thank you, and look forward to catching you on the next one.